Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact reaction. Today we have a set of 2. I know he asked for 3 in the comment here, but I'm only going to be getting to 2 for time reasons. We have Introduction to a Little Friend and A Distant Farewell. I'll be getting to the dragon one after that, probably next week. But just passing by, got this comment and it got a lot of likes on it, so I know a lot of you want me to listen to these 3, so I'm definitely going to use this one for the next one as well. But we need to listen to these 2 first, so without further ado, let's go! Well, that's delightful. Just a lighthearted little jaunt. Well, this is just delightful. I can't help but smile. Oh, like the breeze through the trees. It's so nice. It's almost giving me like classic Zelda vibes. I'm sure you guys can hear that too, right? Oh, that was adorable. That little accent in there, that little flighty bit. Oh, there's another one. That subtle percussion in there too. I wonder what that is. It sounded very simple, like it could be a cajon, but I'm not sure if it was. It might have been though, probably just a really small cajon, but oh, what a nice texture to add there. It fits the vibe perfectly. Yo, this song, dude. I was already in a good mood, but this just put me in a better one. So my first thought of this song was, oh, it's just a little guy. Like that meme is basically exactly what popped into my head. It just sounds like it gives that much energy. It sounds like a puppy just kind of happily running along, you know, just like a dirt road. And it's just like, that's so cute. Look at him go. It's like, there goes my little guy. Like, I assume that that has something to do with it, given the title is really, really obvious with that. I'm assuming this to a degree is probably some sort of an animal companionship you have during the game, and probably not forever, which is why I'm worried about A Distant Farewell and that title. That always makes me go, yeah, when I see like those combinations of titles where I'm just like, oh, like we're meeting someone, it's gonna be happy, it's gonna be a good time. Oh no. So like, I'm really bracing myself for that, but this was just so fun. Like, I want to live in this world for just a few more seconds, and I'm sure a lot of you could probably agree to that just based on your own experiences with whatever moment this was, whoever you met, whatever the situation there was. It probably was a really high moment in the gameplay, just something that was really innocent and fun. It sounds like that. The whimsy is really strong with this one. It's just an absolute blast to listen to. It is the cutest thing, and I love it. And I want to cuddle whatever's theme this is, because you know it's got to be cuddly. And I have to do another shout out, not just to the general melody of the song, which was super lighthearted and cute, and just, I can't stop saying cute enough for this one, specifically for obvious reasons. But I also can't stop thinking about those little interludes, those little ornamental things that we're throwing in there, those little flute patterns that were just kind of just dancing around, just little things, just kind of to brighten it up even further somehow, to make it sound even cuter, to make it sound even more lighthearted. It's just the epitome of the absolute bean, you know, like the millennial fucking thing, the whole like, oh, look at that little bean, look at his little paws, the toe beans. That's what I'm getting out of this. It's kind of millennial coded in that way, but I don't want to like ruin the song for people. It just means it's cute. It's also just that a lot of millennials tend to take that to an extreme, so you kind of associate them. But it's still adorable, and I really can't overstate how cute this was. This was written exclusively for that purpose, I can tell, and now I'm very, very worried to see what A Distant Farewell means, because just based off the titles alone, that makes me feel like I'm going to be saying goodbye to the character that we just met here. And you guys might have had some time to meet the character, build relationships with it, and I'm not sure what that would be and how long that would take, but I feel for you already. Just given that I know where this is kind of going based off the titles, I'm sorry. I'm going to get this done and over with in a matter of seconds. You've probably had days or weeks of gameplay to like really attach yourselves, and I can tell that this is going to hurt. But I think I've prepared myself for that. I am zen. I'm ready to listen to the next song. Hopefully it's not too sad. Hopefully it is a more happy, distant farewell. But when you read the word distant, there's usually not a lot of positive connotation that comes with that. So I'm just going to hope for the best, but expect the worst. I think that's really a good way to approach most things in life. So I guess without further ado, let's get to that one, shall we? Oh, come on. They're already pulling in the motif here. How dare you? Already. Usually they like soften the blow a little bit more before they introduce something like that. Oh, come on. Beautiful arrangement, but at what cost? I've known this character for literally 5 minutes. I don't even know what they look like. Oh, fuck you. I'm sorry. You can't add that. Well, I guess the distance makes a lot of sense now. I'll explain myself later, as always. But how dare you? Oh, God. Okay, yeah. I hope whoever composed that has a very bad day. Because again, how dare you? So I'll restate, how dare you? So like I was giving it shit for at the very beginning of this, when you immediately bring in the motif, that is just a straight up punch to the gut. It is immediate. They don't like really wean you into this at all. There's no gradual gradient into the situation. They don't like strike the chord later in. They hit you with that immediately, and that's very aggressive. Like I said, a lot of the times that tends to wait a little bit. There'll be a little interlude, some sort of an intro section, and then they'll start to introduce that motif, and that at least gets your brain kind of prepared for the inevitable gut punch. Like at that point, you know it's coming. This just starts with it. So at very least, I figure in the story, that makes sense. Like you already know that this is going to happen and this song starts to play after the reveal. That would make more sense contextually there. But also just, ow, like, come on. And then like what it does later, the reason I got so mad at it is because they brought it up like 2 or 3 octaves and started playing on those higher keys. And that's something that really does broaden that distance. Like having the main theme be on a much lower octave and register than the like motif it starts to kind of diddle around with up at the top, that is a way to separate physically the music and you, the player, so you're able to contextualize that distance in your mind a little bit easier. It's just a psychological trick that musicians use, and they did that right at a point where I was just like, how long are we going to get to like hug and say goodbye here? I was thinking that in my head, and then it hit that high note and I'm like, no, not right now. I'm still hugging my little boy. How could you? So even though, again, I've only known this character for like maybe a total of 10 minutes now, yikes. That really did hit hard. They did a great job at that theme. They did a great job making a theme, a general motif that works so well in that lighthearted bounciness, then transferring that and transposing that into the minor key to touch on that sadder energy. They did a really good job at writing a theme for that. Sometimes they just don't work and you have to like rework the whole song. but the fact that they just made it the main motif and all they had to do was basically shift it from a major to a minor and that's all it took. You would figure that's usually all it takes, but a lot of the time songs just don't sound quite right and they have to make active changes in order to make certain songs work. There were a few note changes in here, especially when it went up to that higher part. That was like a whole separate thing they were doing, but it still was within the key, of course, and it just, again, broadened that distance and it made you immediately like, it puts you in that perspective of like standing there and seeing them way down the road and like you're still waving. You're like, goodbye, have safe travels. I'm assuming that's what's going on here. For whatever reason, this character is like leaving your party. Maybe you've hung around them for a while and it's like, you know what? It's my time to go. I need to go do my own thing. And they go do that. But in that process, it gives me the exact same feeling that the Butterfree Ash departure did in the original Pokemon series. That's dating myself a little bit, but for those who know what I'm talking about, for those of you based enough to understand that reference, you know exactly what I'm feeling in this moment just from hearing these songs. But what this does do is actually give me a little bit of hope, mainly because the song gives me that feeling that it is a departure and not a loss. Like, the person, the creature, whatever, is going off to do their thing, but they're not dead. You know, like that's the big change for me. That's what I was worried about when I heard Distant Farewell, because that could really mean a lot of things depending on the context. But now that I've heard that, I'm actually more hopeful for the third song that I'll be getting to next week, because that makes me feel like maybe they come back. Maybe this is a reuniting situation. Maybe there's some other part of the story where you get to meet up with them again. That would be sick. That would be awesome. I wanted to see my little boy again, or girl. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I don't know who they are. It's something. The point is, I raised you, damn it, and I've been here for 10 minutes. You can't leave that easily. We need to see each other again. So I'm really hoping that that third song is some sort of a reuniting feeling, and I will be revisiting these two right before I listen to that one next week, just so I can put the context into full, all three right back to back. I like to do that when those exist, when people ask me to, and in cases like this, when I purposely separate them, I definitely want to make sure I keep everything locked tight together, because a lot of the time context is important, just like this one. You had the two songs directly related, obviously heavy motif work there, and I'm sure there will be a little bit of that in the next one too, so I don't want to forget about that. I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to re-listen to all of them. And I really think that is all I've got to say on this one. That was a beautiful arrangement. I don't really have much technically to say about it because it was so simplified compared to what it could have been, but that's also what made it so emotional and what made it so beautiful and what made it hurt so damn much. So again, despite me not really knowing this character and having no clue what they are or how long some people have spent their time in game with this character, I feel the emotional strain on this, and I just got here. So I'm sorry again for anybody who's like lived this actual relationship and had to deal with that feeling, because I'm sure it felt like a gut wrench at that moment. I am very cautiously optimistic that it's going to be a good thing, but I'm also mildly concerned that this is going to be the final reunion. You know what I mean? So I'm letting myself kind of ramble here, but thank you all so very much for watching. If you have anything else you want me to get to, wait for it. Wait till next week. Don't request anything this time around. Don't worry about doing any of that. Just comment stuff down there. Maybe if it is like a character or something, like say something about your version of this character or whatever it is, because I'm sure it probably has something very personal to the player. I assume you could probably like name it yourself. I'm assuming this is a pet, is really what I'm trying to say here. So like leave a comment talking about your variant of this character, because they would not pull this many strings if you weren't able to name it yourself. That feels like the most game thing to do, is to give you that agency to name something and then rip it away from you to teach you a lesson. Like, how dare you? Like, maybe not quite like that, but you get what I mean. But I'm done yapping here, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any of those, let me know what they are. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff in the future, including the third song next week, you know how to follow me and support me and all that. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!